Hello everyone, so today we are going to work on how to make this beautiful wristlet round beaded purse. I make a lock on it. You can open it and close. It looks so pretty and beautiful. Look at the handle. You can put your hand through the loop and hold it how you want it. You can use your own choice of bead of colors to make this beautiful round beaded purse. And I'm going to take my time to explain to you step by step so you can also make one yourself. Look at how pretty it looks like. Very beautiful. You can wear it on your hand. Look at how easy it looks on the hand. Very soft. Like this, it can fit in your chapstick, your car key. You can also fit in a small mirror in here. You can take it to anywhere you want to take it to. Hello, thank you for joining me. It's time to get started. So I have here on my table 8mm bead in black color. Here I have 6mm metallic gold bead. This is what I'll be using in addition with the black. I have here my plier, my little plier to cut any loose thread. I have here my 50-pound fishing line. This is a fishing line I'll be using in 50-pound. For the cutter, just use whatever you have. You can use scissors, you can use nail cutter or any sharp thing. We are going to start with 6 bead. I'm going to string all these 6 bead on the line. And I'm going to make a ring of this 6 bead. This is the 6 bead I put on the line, like this. And I'm going to hold the last one and put the right line into it and pull like this. Pull it down. That's what you have, like a ring. To make a ring of 6 bead like this. So as you can see, I have 2 split lines. So the left line, this one, okay, the left line, I add 5 bead to it. So this is the 5 bead I put on the line. This is 5, okay. I'm going to hold the last one, then I'm crossing my right line into it and pull like this. Now I'm going to pull my right line. This is my right line. I'm going to go into the next bead. Pull it through the next bead like this. Now I'm going to add on my left line 4 bead. I have 4 bead on my line. This is 4. I'm going to hold the last bead, cross it with my right line and pull. Now my right line again into the next bead. This bead, this one, put my line through it, and on the left line I add 4 bead. This is 4 bead I add to my left line. I'm going to hold the last one again, cross and pull. So now I'm going to pull my right line again, this line into the next bead. Pull it through the next bead, and on the left line I add 4 bead. This is 4. I'm going to hold it again, the last one, cross my right line into it and pull. Now into the next bead again, this line into the next bead, this one, okay. I pull my line through the next bead, and on my left line I add 4 bead again. Add 4, hold the last one, cross and pull. Now I'm going to go into 2 bead over here. This is the first and the second one. Go to 2 bead over here, and I'll be adding 3 bead to my left line. I'm going to cross and pull, and you have something like this, okay. Now my right line again into the next bead, this one over here. I add 4 bead to my left line, cross and pull into the next bead, pull my right line into the next bead. I add 3 bead to my left line. I'm going to hold the last one, cross and pull. Now I'm going to go into 2 bead, this one and this one, okay? 2 bead over here, this 2 bead, cross into this 2 bead. I add 3 bead to my left line. I'm going to cross and pull. Now into the next bead, okay? My right line to the next bead. I'm adding 3 bead to my left line. I'm going to cross with my right line and pull. Now I'm going to pull my line again into 2 bead over here, this 2 bead. This is the first one and this is the second bead. I add 3 bead to my left line. This is 3 bead I add to my left line. Cross and pull. Now I'm going to go into another bead again, the next bead again. My right line into the next bead. Over here I go through 1 bead. I add 3 bead to my left line. So as you can see, I'm adding the bead to my left line and I'm using my right line to go through the bead, alright? Now I'm going to pull my right line again, this line into 2 bead. This 2 bead over here, okay? Pull my line through it and I add 3 bead to my left line. I'm going to hold the last one. This is 3 bead I add to my line, cross and pull. Now my right line, I'm going to go into the next bead. I add 3 bead again to my left line, cross and pull into 2 bead, okay? I'm going to pull my line into 2 bead over here. I add 3 bead to my left line. I'm going to cross again with my right line and pull. Now my right line again into the next bead. Go through the next bead, that is 1 bead. Add 3 bead to my left line. Cross and pull. Now I'm going to pull my line into 2 bead, these ones. This 2 bead over here, let me show you clearly, okay? 2 bead. This is 1. Pull right into 2 bead. I add 3 bead to my left line. I'm going to hold the last one, cross and pull. Now I'm going to go into 2 bead again over here. This 2 bead, 1, 2, 2 bead. So I pull my line into 2 bead over here like this. This is how your line should be, okay? This 3 bead, my line is in 3 bead over here. This 3 bead. The number of bead I need on my left line, 2 bead. I pick up 2 bead, then I'm going to cross with my right line and pull. So you have something like this. Now my left line again, I add 3 bead. Cross and pull. Into the next bead, we are going to go round this circle, going through 1 bead, okay? So I add 2 bead to my line. I start with 3, now I'm adding 2 bead to continue. I add 2 bead to my line, cross and pull. Into the next bead, we are going to go round the shape 1 by 1. Go through each bead and add 2 bead to it. So I add 2 bead to my left line. I'm going to hold, cross and pull. Into the next bead again. I add 2 bead to my line. So this time we are adding 2 bead to our line. We are going to go through 1 bead and add 2 bead to it. So I add 2 bead to my line like this. going to cross and pull. Into the next bead again, we are going to go round this circle until we complete. This is how it's looking like. This is how the weave is looking like. So we are going to continue to go through each bead and add two beads to our left line and complete this shape. So I will do mine off camera and I'll meet you back here. Let's continue around this shape. I'm about to complete mine. I'm going to the next bead. Two bead. Now over here, we are going to step up over here. So I'm going to go through two bead. Let me hold it well for you to see. I'm going to go to this one in the middle and the side one, these two. Going through the middle one. And also the one on the side. So the number of bead I need, this is how it looks like. Okay, my line is in 3 bead like this. I need 1 bead to complete this step. Cross and pull. So now we complete this step, and now we are going to start another step again. I'm pulling my line into 1 bead. Now my left line, I add 4 bead to it. This is 4 bead I add to my left line. Hold the last one, cross with the right line and pull. Now I'm going to pull my right line again into the next bead. I add 3 bead to my left line. 3 bead. Going to cross and pull. Now my right line into the next bead again. So we are going through each bead, okay, one bead over here. I put my line through 1 bead, then I'm going to add 3 bead to my left line. Cross and pull. Now into the next bead again, this one. Go to the next bead. I add 3 bead to my line. Pull the last one, cross and pull. Now into the next bead again. Into the next bead, 3 bead. Cross and pull. I'm going through the next bead again. I add 3 bead to my line. I'm going to hold the last one again, cross with my right line and pull. Into the next bead again. I add 3 bead to my line. I'm going to cross and pull. So over here, this step, this is how it's looking like. I'm going to continue to repeat the same thing round and complete. And now I'm about to complete. I have 1 bead left, this one. So I'm going to pull my line through the 2 bead. Pull it through this one, the middle, and the one on the side, like this. I need 2 bead to complete this step. So now we are done. This is how the shape is looking like. I'm going to tie 1 knot over here. Tie a knot. Then I'm going to pull a line into 1 bead, okay? I'm going to pull 1 line back through 1 bead. Now my line is in 1 bead, okay? This is how it's looking like. Look at the shape. This is how it's looking. Now we are going to continue the side with this metallic gold bead. That's what we are going to use for the side. This is how it's looking like. I showed you earlier. 6 millimeter, okay? We are going to use 6 millimeter. So we are going to start again. I add 3 bead to my left line. So we are going to go into each bead around this shape and add bead to it. So I'm starting with 3 bead, 3 metallic gold bead. I start with 3 bead. I'm going to go into the next bead, and I'll be adding 2 bead to my line. Into the next bead again, I add 2 bead. This is what we'll be repeating all around this shape. So you go through 1 bead, then you add 2 bead to your line. cross and pull into the next bead again. Add 2 bead to your left line. This left line, I add 2 bead. This time we just change the bead to 6 millimeter. This is how it's looking like. So now I'm going to go into the next bead again and add 2 bead. So now that we know what to do on this stage, I'm just going to weave one more time. Then I'll do the rest of camera and I'll meet you back here. So go through each bead, add 2 bead to it, round until it completes. Like this. This is mine and this is how it's looking like. Because we changed the bead a little bit, that is why it looks like it's curving. But don't worry about it if you see something like this. It's going to come up together. Now we are going to build on it one more time. I start with 3 bead again. I'm going to build on it one more time. Okay, so I start with 3 metallic gold bead. I start with it again like this. I'm going to put my line into the next bead. I add 2 beads to my line. We are repeating the same thing over here. Not hard at all to do. Everybody can do this. I'm going to put my line into the next bead again. And I add 2 beads to my line. Cross and pull. Now I'm going to put my line again into the next bead. And I add 2 beads to my line. Cross and pull into the next bead again. This is how it's looking like. Okay, did you see it? This is how the weave is looking like. I'm going to put my line into the next bead again. I add 2 beads to my line. I'm going to cross and pull. So we are going to continue repeating the same thing. We are going to repeat the same thing around this shape until we complete it. And this is how it's looking like. I laid the second layer again and it looks very beautiful. It's going to curve in a little bit because we changed the bead. That is why it looks like it's curving in. But don't worry if you see something like this. Everything is going to come together, okay? So if you make this, you have to make another one. So we are going to make 2 of these. And here is my second one. Here's my second one that I made. And we are going to put these 2 pieces together and join them. Let me show you how we are going to put them together. I'm going to hold both together. This is my line on the side over here. Okay, I'm going to hold it like this. So I'm putting 1 bead on the line. I'm going to use black in the middle to join it. So I'm going to go through this bead. Because they are all the same size, you don't have to count anything. Just go into 1 bead and pull. Now I take another black bead. I'm going to cross both ends of my line into it and pull. Like this. Pull. So now I'm going to pull my line into the next bead. On each piece, I'm going to go into the next bead. I'm going to hold this line and go into the next bead on this piece. Okay, so this line into the next bead. Now I take 1 bead. I'm going to cross both ends of my line into it and pull. And I'm going to pull each line again like this, pull down. So this is all we are going to be repeating over here around this shape until we come to a point that we are going to leave a space that we can dip our hand into it. This is how far I weave it. Now it's complete. So if you have a big hand, just measure your hand to where you are going to stop to make an opening for your purse, okay? I made a little one over here. This is how it's looking like. But if you have a big hand, you can make it a little wider for you. And this is how we join it. Very simple and very beautiful. So now what we are going to do now is to make a closure on it. I'm going to lock it here on this side. So let's start weaving. I'm going to pick out 4 beads on this side, okay? This is the middle on the top. Then we are going to weave across to the next side. Again, I'm going to use my 6mm metallic bead. That's what we are going to use to start weaving. So now my line is in 1 bead and I'm going to start with 3 bead. I put 3 bead on my line and I'm going to cross with my right line and pull. I'm going to turn it this way so you can see clearly. Into the next bead. Pull my right line into the next bead. And I add 2 bead to my line. Cross and pull. Into the next bead again. I pick 4 bead over here, so I'm going to go through all the 4 bead. I add 2 bead to my line. And this is the last bead I'm going to pull my line through. Into the last bead, this is the 4th one, okay? So the same line I put through the bead, I'm going to put 2 bead on it, the same line, okay? On the right line, like this, 2 bead, cross and pull. That way my line turn up, so I can start a new row. This is how we start. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Now on my right line again, I add 3 bead to it. I'm starting with 3 bead. Then I'm going to pull my line again into the next bead. I'm pulling into the next bead. And I add 2 bead to my line. Cross and pull. Into the next bead. I add 2 bead to my left line. Into the next. So the same line I pull through the bead right now, this line, I add 2 bead to it. Cross and pull. Now we're starting a new roll again. I add 3 beads to start. I'm going to put my line into the next bead. Then I add 2 bead to my left line. Cross and pull. Into the next bead again. 2 bead. I'm going to pull my line again into the last bead over here. So the same line, I'll be adding 2 bead to it. That way my line can turn up again, so I start a new row. So I add 2 bead to the same line I pulled through the bead. Cross and pull. And we are going to continue to make this until we make 12 rows. I start my 4th row. I'm pulling my line into the next bead. I add 2 bead to it. Into the next bead. 2 bead. Into the next bead. I add 2 bead to my line. Cross and pull. So this is how the weave is looking like. Very pretty already. We are going to make it long and make 12 rows. I make 4 already, so I'm going to continue to make 12 rows. And I'll meet you back here. I'm going to lock it here on the other side. So now let's continue to put the closure on it. This is how it's looking like. This is 11. I'm going to make 1 more to make 12. So we can wrap it over to this side and then put the closure on it. This is how the bag is look like. This is the bag. Look at the detail over here on the side. Very detailed, very beautiful. So now let's continue to put closure on it. So now that we're done weaving the belt, this is how it's looking like. Over here in the middle, we are going to put our closure over here. I'm going to use this 16mm pearls. I'm going to put in the middle. Here is my line that I cut. I'm going to pull my line through the pearls. Then I'm going to put 4mm gold bead, this one. This is a 4mm. I'm going to put it on each side of the line. I put this one. Then I drop this side of the line. I put 1 bead too, like this. Now we are going to put the line through this bead over here. These 2 bead, that's what we are going to use, okay? This 2 bead. I'm going to put it this way. This one is going to this direction, and this side of the line is coming towards me, okay, into this bead. They are all on the same line, so I'm pulling this one this way, so the lines are in opposite direction of each other, like this. This one go this way into these two bead, we put it, okay. This line go this way, and this one come here. You can pull gently into the middle like this. That's all we need to do, okay. So now I'm going to hold this line and weave through the circle. I'm going to pull this line, my right line, okay, this one into this circle. I'm going to pull it round because I want both lines to come together. I want it together at one place so I can tie them. So I'm going to pull it through this circle of bead, pull, and the other line I'm going to pull through this bead until I meet the first one, so I can tie both of them and weave the rest of the line into the bead to make sure it's well secured enough so the line will not peel up. Okay, now that I have one more to go. Now that I have both ends of my line together, I'm going to tie a knot over here. Pull, pull, and pull tight, okay. Pull tight. This one is very strong in the middle. It's very tight and firm, so I'm tying over here. Tie a knot, tie nice and neat, nice and neat, okay. Pull and pull tight, pull hard like this. So now I'm going to weave the rest of my line into the bead a little bit before I trim it off. That way I know my line is well secured enough in the bead. I'm just weaving the rest of the line into the bead. Just weave nice and neat, then trim it off. You see how firm this is? It's very firm in the middle. It's not going to move or slip out. I'm weaving the rest of my line into the bead, then trim it off. This one too a little bit further. That is how you lock your line into the bead, like this. Very beautiful. So now what we are going to do is to make a loop on this belt and hook it on the bead, and I'm going to show you how you do that like this. We are going to make a loop round and hook on it. So this is my line. I'm going to pull it through these two beads in the middle. I'm going to pull my line through these two beads like this. Then we are going to start stringing the bead on each side of the line. I'm going to string some number of bead. Then I'm going to measure to see if that fits around the bead. If it's not, I'm going to add more. It doesn't fit, I have to add a little more. So I add 2 on each side to see if that will be enough. Just going to measure. This is how I measure. Now I think this is enough bead. That's it. That's the number we want. So I add 5, and this side I add 4. I add 4, that's total 9, okay. So I'm just going to cross into this bead over here like this, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to weave, then I measure again, okay. I'm measuring again to see if that's the perfect number I picked. So I'm going to work my way into all the bead round like this. I'm going into all this bead round. Then I have both ends together and I'm going to tie. So I'm going to tie, have both ends together, and I'm going to tie my line over here. Let me measure once again to see if this is what I want, okay. I think it's good, it's perfect. I'm I'm going to tie over here and then weave the rest of the line into the bead. Sometimes you have to measure multiple times, because if you pull the line, maybe it will make it even tighter, or you need to add more. So you measure well before you tie your line and weave it back into the bead. So right here, I'm just going to weave the line back into the bead. Make sure it's well secured enough. Then I trim it off. So let's put it to a test and see if it's going to close nicely on it. Let me trim these lines first. Now this is how it closes. Just tag it a little bit on it like this. That's it. You close your purse. Very beautiful. So now what is left to do is to make a beautiful wristlet on it, so you can put your wrist through it and hold it. I'm going to put my line through this middle bead right here. And before we start stringing the bead on it, I'm going to add 2 black beads on each side of the line. Like this. I add two beads on each side of the line. Then I'm going to hold both lines and tie. I'm going to tie both lines here in the middle. Tie nice and neat. Very beautifully. Pull and pull hard and tight. Now put the 2 ends of the lines together, and I'm going to put 1 gold bead on it. Then I'm going to open my line back again and start stringing the bead on it. I'm going to make it in a pattern, black bead and gold bead, black and gold, black and gold. That is how I'm going to pick it and string it on the line like this. This is how the pattern is looking like. Very beautifully. Put gold bead in between all the black bead. I'm going to measure it on my wrist. So measure yours on your wrist. If you have a big hand, measure it to see if that works for you, if you string more or less. Okay, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to hold it and tie over here. I'm going to tie in the middle over here very gently. Don't pull hard, okay? Just be gentle now. Don't pull too hard, else it's gonna be stiff and you will not enjoy it. It's not gonna feel nice on your hand. This is how it's looking like. Okay, you see how flexible, how soft and nice it is on it on the hand. That's how you want it. Don't make it hard and stiff. Then you hold it like this, very beautifully. Use this wristlet purse anywhere you want to go, dinner, wherever. You can use it at anywhere. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to finish off weaving the rest of the line round into the bead, round like this. Then I have the ends together, tie it and trim it off. That is all I'm going to do. I'm just going to cut this one off like this. This is how it's looking like. Very beautiful. Look at how it closes. Look at the beauty of bead. Look at how the handle is. You can hold it in your hand like this and making sure you don't lose your purse. Very beautiful wristlet purse that we make. Very rounded and detailed. Look at this. Very beautiful. So now that I show you how to make it for yourself, make it for your friends and loved ones. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, turn on your notifications for any new videos that I'll be uploading, so you don't miss on any. Thank you for joining me again, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.